And I'm standing there day after day after day as I'm waiting for a property to come up and be cried. I'm looking at this opportunity going, something's missing here. The public does not have public access, right, to this space. And I thought, well, one, I need it. And so as I was putting it together, I wasn't brought up to turn my back to people. So when people go, hey, where do you get your list? How do you do this? Could I buy through you? My answer was yes.
How many contracts have you written and submitted for a client to buy a property? And in today's market right now, we're getting back to that point where there's 4, 5, 6 deals. You know you wrote a good contract. Your buyer's a good buyer. You're ready to go. And all of a sudden you get kicked to the curb, right? I mean, if you're out there writing contracts actively, that's happening right now.
I could come out of the woodwork 50 years later and say, that was my grandmother's house. She was incompetent at the time that she signed that deed, and I would like that back now. If you have title insurance, you're okay. If you don't, you got to give the home back.
That we've got those circles and they're letting their people know and it's spreading out, and now people are going to start knowing that, hey, you know what, Penny is an auction pro. Well, it's not just Penny's clients that are important that they know, but what about other realtors that may not understand the auction space?
A partnership. You are developing a partnership with your client. And the whole trustee game, the trustee sale game, is just another game piece in that whole thing.
I have literally been in litigation battles where the other side did not understand liability protection and piercing the corporate veil the way I did, and I was able to pull some things off just because of their lack of understanding, because the perception was there. Fine. But all I'm telling you is if I'm representing the creditor and I'm trying to pierce through some corporate veils and it's solely owned by the way most people run them, I'm piercing. I'm piercing through that.
Companies do drive-bys. They do what they call field inspections. And if they look in the window and that place has been in, the policies, they look and say the policy's been up and running for 2 weeks. There's no furniture in this place. The place, it's absolutely not been touched. It's vacant. It's going to get canceled right away.
So my goal today is to do my best to educate you on how you can become a better investor by making informed and better decisions.
A lot of people are inherently afraid of properties that are occupied. They're afraid that people are going to cause damage or that it's going to be too hard to get them out. And I think the market kind of builds in a price for that. Is people just assume, oh, it's too bad, we're not going to bid on those. And so there's a lot of benefit on looking at properties that are occupied. Because one, if somebody's in there a lot of the times, it's being maintained up till that point. It's not vacant, you don't have trespassers in there. So the condition, the home's actually functional, right? The water's on, the electric on, somebody's living there maintaining the property. There's a risk, obviously, of concern of whether they want to damage the property, but realistically, that's not the bulk of people. You may have that one bad seed, but the majority of people are living there, and they'll take their time to get out.